Hello guys, it's Ryan Ho back with another video. Today we have to talk about Logitech's graphene drivers. Now these type of drivers haven't hit mainstream. There are other audio companies that have done it, but not in a gaming headphone, especially not from a brand like Logitech, which is really big and has to mass produce these. So that's very interesting to see from Logitech. And graphene drivers, how do they make it better than normal drivers, right? So how does graphene help the sound, right? Essentially it leads to lower distortion because it's kind of a metal that's very stiff but also very lightweight, so it allows you to kind of play all the frequencies and extend really well in like the treble, because assumingly it's very lightweight and allows you to play that but without all of that distortion, right? So in my actual hearing test, I would say this is definitely the best Logitech headphone they've ever made. It sounds noticeably more detailed than the prior stuff I've had. I think the latest thing I reviewed was the Logitech G735, and I thought that headphone was pretty decent. The detail from the headphone was definitely not as good as this one. All right, so today I want to talk about the audio in two different ways. So we're going to talk about how does it fare in competitive audio, and then we're going to talk about how it compares in music. So personally, I am Ascendant 3 in Valorant, so I would say I'm pretty good at video games and competitive games. And then in the end, I'll give you guys a little bit of a quick comparison between this and the Odyssey Maxwell, another kind of wireless headphone in the same price range. All right, so let's talk about the G Pro X build quality. So honestly, the build is really nice. It's, like their previous build. You have the nice headband on top, nice and plushy. The headphone's not too heavy, so you don't really feel much of that force right there. The clamp force is also not that heavy, so it really sits really comfortably on the side of your ears, and it has nice plushy cups, which all help making it very comfortable, right? Now build, this is made of metal, this is made of metal, so it makes it pretty sturdy. I don't think it's gonna break very easily at all. And you got these nice cups right here. Now this improvement is obviously this has a swivel, so you can finally turn the cups and they adjust better to your head. But besides that, this is a pretty familiar type of build and one that honestly works really well, very comfortable and sturdy. So let's talk about some of the accessories and the functions that this comes with. So you have a detachable mic, which is nice, so easily detachable. It comes with a 3.5 millimeters, so you can connect it to your Switch and other devices via 3.5. Then we have the Bluetooth button, and then so it has Bluetooth, right? So connect that, but you can only connect it wireless and Bluetooth separately. You can't do it at the same time. It will switch in between. Then we have the USB-C. So this is only purely charging. So when you charge a headset, you plug that in. Then we got the mic mute switch, so it comes in and out to mute. And then we have the kind of the volume, so we kind of change the volume as well, which is nice. And then right here we have the power, so the on and off button. So this is off, this is on. And of course you need it off to be powered through 3.5 millimeter, and you can run it through this mode without any power, so that's kind of cool. So it sounds better wireless in my opinion. Wired mode sounds just less treble. It doesn't sound as natural to me sounding, and the bass is a little bit boomier in the wired mode. So I would definitely listen to this in the wireless mode. So here are all the accessories it comes with. So you get a bag, you get a microphone, you get the 2.4 gigahertz dongle, you get the USB-C cable to charge your headset, and then you get the 3.5 millimeter connected wired. Oh, and also you get two velour pads, which are really nice in cloth. They feel really nice, but sound-wise, I guess this leads us to the sound, right? But the sound-wise, I don't really like these as much as the stock sound. They don't sound as bassy and fun, and they kind of sound a little too trebly for me, in my opinion. So it just sounds a little less fun than the stock pads. So I definitely recommend those over these. So let's talk about the sound with the stock pads. So definitely it has a really nice bass. You definitely hear that kind of bass, that rumble. You can feel it as well. It's really fun sounding, and I think a lot of people will really enjoy the bass. It's definitely present and enjoyable. Now, when it comes to kind of the mid-range of this headphone, so the mid-range of this headphone I found very, very good. So, I listen to kind of like male dialogue and male vocalists, and they sound really good, very forward, sound very clear. Same with female vocalists, they sound very clear. However, I do think the weakest aspect about this headphone, at least when you're kind of testing it with like music and kind of how natural things sound. I do feel like the treble in this headphone, especially above, I think like 8,000, but basically the higher treble is definitely not very present in this headphone. So it does somehow appear like it lacks some detail up there, in my opinion. But overall, I think this is a good tuned headphone for gaming. So when I jumped into games, that's where this really shines. So during games, the audio was really, really good. So the first thing I noticed when I was playing Valorant was that I could literally hear the footsteps very clearly. Like in the middle of the headset, I could definitely tell that the imaging was solid. I could tell exactly where they're coming from, but the footsteps just stood out so much to me. Like they were so clear, so distinct, and so easy to tell from the rest of the sound. Like the gunshots you can hear, but they didn't seem to like kind of cross over with that either. So I really found it really optimized for like FPS games, honestly. Like I had no problems. Now, I did find the gunshots to be very easy to tell, but they're obviously not emphasized, which is, I think, a good thing because, if the gunshots are emphasized too much, then it might get fatiguing for your ears. And I feel like this headset really avoids that with its type of tuning. So when it came to like the bass during the games, you could get that nice, fun sound, but also that nice rumble, and you can really hear that. But it didn't really get like kind of muddy or anything. It wasn't overwhelming at all. So really for gaming audio, I feel like this is really optimized for that really well. And I feel like that is what it was meant to do. And it really does shine in that aspect. So I guess I kind of already talked about it, but like, I guess there's soundstage and imaging, but essentially how far things sound. Obviously, it's a closed back headphone, but I did find that I could tell the difference between, if the enemy's close to me or if they're far away. So the depth was pretty good in that sense. And like I said, for imaging, they've obviously tested this with other gaming professionals, but you could tell exactly where the enemy is in front of you, above you, behind you. It was very easy to tell.
All right, so let's start the mic test portion. So I have it plugged in straight into the microphone, into my computer, and you can see all my Logitech gear because I'm a Logitech fanboy if you can't tell. But let's go into the Pro X2. So you can see you have all your kind of adjustments over here. You can change the volume, mic volume, side tone. You have all your EQs. I did play around with some EQs, but ultimately I feel like flat is fine. You could kind of go to FPS and kind of increase your bass to here, and this was pretty decent, honestly, if you want more treble detail, in my opinion. I do think this headset does need a little bit more treble, but the thing I noticed too about this headset is that, it's kind of limited to 6,600, so you can't really increase the higher treble either, where I feel like it's really missing. So EQ could only do so much for this headphone, at least in the current software. They added more bands above, then you could definitely adjust that, which, I would suggest them do that. Microphones, you have your different kind of microphones. So you enable this, you can kind of change the different effects that you want to choose from. And then you have samplers to kind of have different sound effects as well if you want to use these as well. So pretty simple software, but there's a lot of settings that you could definitely deep dive into if you wanted to.
So the Logitech G Pro X2 Lightspeed comes in a price of $250. So it is a slight increase over the predecessor, but I feel like there's a lot of improvements in this, like the sound, the headband, the comfort. That is honestly kind of worth it for that only, I think, like $30 price increase. So really not too bad to see. So last but not least, we will talk about comparisons to the Odyssey Maxwell and this headset. I feel like these two headsets are made for different people. This headset is obviously made for competitive gamers, while this one is made for kind of audio enthusiasts. And what I mean by that, essentially, this is lighter weight. You can wear this for 8 hours. This one gets heavy over time. After like 4 hours, my neck gets sore. This one has, optimized better imaging in my opinion. And I feel like the tuning is also better for like gaming. I just find it to like enhance, like I say, like the footsteps just seem to stand out way more than on the kind of Maxwell. So obviously you can change EQs and stuff to make this sound more like that too. But in my personal opinion, this is really the competitive gaming headphone. Now this one, it's not like you can't use this for competitive gaming. I've been using this all the time, but I feel like the imaging on this is slightly better, but the audio quality on the Maxwell is actually a lot better in my opinion than this one. It just has a lot more, treble detail in my opinion. And, if you're looking for just an audio, first type of headset, I would go with the Maxwell. So that leads me to the conclusion. Do I recommend the Logitech? I definitely do. I feel like this headset really is optimized for competitive gaming. If you're trying to just play your competitive games, I think you'll really enjoy this headset. Like, it is extremely comfortable. It has good detail. It has good sound. I think a lot of people will really enjoy this for gaming. And I feel like it's just made for us gamers who want to sit there for like 8 hours plus and play your games. The sound profile is meant so your ears don't get fatigued over time. The weight, the comfort is meant to be on your head for long hours. I really think this is made for us gamers who just play way too much all weekend long. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. Helps my videos out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.